Call of Duty Vanguard serves as the latest installment in the long-running franchise in the first-person shooter gaming genre, and for the first time it was built to be played on the current-gen consoles. Now, while many believe that this series as a whole has been gone on to feel very stale, with the series being unable to add any significant levels of innovation in an attempt to inject any kind of new life, for me personally, Vanguard seems to be the first entry for me in a long time where I myself felt annoyed and at times unimpressed with what the developers at Sledgehammer Gaming were trying to show off. And if things do not change moving forward, then I will look back at this game and only remember it for being the beginning of my end of the interest in this franchise as a whole. For the longest time, I have openly admitted that I am one of the few individuals that actually plays Call of Duty for its campaign. But unfortunately, that seems to have backfired on me because Call of Duty Vanguard has without question the worst campaign that I have played to date for its setting. Now, Vanguard takes us back to World War II, as you will take control of members of an elite team of soldiers, each coming from a different group of the Allied forces. After the team's opening mission ends in failure and they are arrested, they are then interviewed by a Nazi interrogator who wants to know more about each individual member of the team, as well as know how much they know about a secret German operation called Project Phoenix. From that point on, the story is told in flashbacks and shows the backstory of each individual member of the squad and what makes them so unique. The squad leader Arthur is from Britain, Paulina is a Russian sniper who fought in Stalingrad, Wade is an American pilot who fought in the Pacific, and Lucas is an Australian who fought in the deserts of northern Africa. Unfortunately, 3 of the 4 squad members I personally found very uninteresting and stereotypical, with the only character to me who stood out and had any kind of heart in their campaign being the sniper Paulina, as we actually get to see what her life was before the Germans attacked and what it was like serving as the Russian army as a medic, and how the horrors of war and loss of her only family members had shaped her into becoming the hardened soldier that she had become. Things are even worse for the 2 main Nazi antagonists that the game's campaign focuses on, who are so one-dimensional it's almost funny. Think of any portrayal of a Nazi that you have ever seen from any movie or any other video game, and that is what these 2 characters are, and the game story makes no attempt to make them interesting or even threatening. Now, I will admit that the main campaign has a good amount of cinematics that look very impressive on current-gen consoles, but at times, these cinematics do feel like they drag out a bit too long. You will go back and forth between playing a mission and then watching an extended cinematic that the game will begin to drag out, and when you have a lackluster campaign that focuses on a squad that you care little about going up against 2 generic Nazis, you'll get a story that becomes very forgettable the moment you've completed it. When it comes to its gameplay, Call of Duty Vanguard runs just as smoothly as any other Call of Duty game that you've played over the last number of years. Shooting and moving around is just as responsive as ever, so there's no issue there. However, a key factor that really hurts the campaign to me is the mission structure, and Sledgehammer's underwhelming attempt to try and make each character feel different. During Arthur's mission, his specialty is that he can give orders to other soldiers. Now, this is mainly only used to put suppressing fire on a target while you go to the side and flank the target, but if you have the right long-range weapon, you won't need to issue orders and can just take out the target yourself. Lucas's specialty is that he can carry 3 different kinds of explosives, and that's literally it. Wade's specialty is that he can use a focus ability to lock onto targets from a distance, and they can use a quick fire auto lock on to hit multiple targets at once. And Paulina's specialty is that because she's a sniper, she can climb up walls to reach higher vantage points and can move around her environment much faster and quieter. Now, again, outside of Paulina, none of the other squad members' specialties really come into play effectively. And on a personal note, shouldn't Paulina have Wade's ability to use precision firing since, she's a sniper? Another thing that really hurts the campaign was the overuse of stealth sections. Now, stealth missions are common. Every Call of Duty game has them, but this game makes you go through a series of different stealth sections for each character, and because of how different the game tries to make these characters feel from each other, these sections feel unnecessary and are just added to make the game longer than it needs to be. Arthur, Wade, and Lucas all have missions that start off as stealth sections that eventually turn into straightforward shoot-'em-up sections, and I just want to ask, why couldn't the whole mission just be that way? They even have the nerve to add only 1 boss fight in the entire game, and guess what? It's a stealth boss fight where you take control of Paulina and have to stab a German commander 3 times while he's hunting her. Now, there is one mission that allows you to take part in the Battle of Midway and take control of a dive bomber, and not only can you take part in some pretty decent dogfighting, but you actually take part in a dive bombing run to attack a Japanese carrier. And while this section is pretty cool, the controls feel a bit off at times, and I just couldn't help but wonder why I could only play this section from inside the cockpit, when the last World War II Call of Duty game that was released 4 years ago allowed you to do this section in third person, and because of that, it felt far superior. Plus, speaking of vehicles, how the hell do you have a mission take part during the North Africa campaign and not be given a mission where you drive a tank? Literally every single World War II Call of Duty game going from 2003 all the way to 2017 all have a tank mission to the point where it's almost required. But for some reason, that kind of mission is missing completely from this game, and that I found really disappointing. Now, when it comes to its multiplayer, it plays out just like any other Call of Duty game that's come out over the last decade. Matches are fast-paced and at times can become completely chaotic, but I can say that there was at least an attempt to change things up a bit with the inclusion of a few key gameplay modes that do require a bit of real teamwork in order to win a match. As you fight other players and level up your character, you'll gain access to more weapons, customization, and perks that you can use in your matches. When it comes to Zombies mode, I must admit that what is presented here is quite different from what I was expecting, as the last time that I remember playing Zombies was all the way back in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and instead of being a traditional horde mode like I was expecting from the past, this time you'll be asked to take part in completing a series of different mission objectives while fighting off waves of zombies, and once you've completed enough of these missions, you can then call a portal which will allow you and your teammate to escape. Now, the only new addition that I experienced and appreciated is that the progress that you will gain between multiplayer and zombie modes are actually linked, which means that while playing zombies, you can actually level up your characters and weapons much faster so you can use them in multiplayer. In the design department, there is no question that the developers at Sledgehammer Games did a lot of hard work into creating a visually impressive and polished looking Call of Duty game that has some thrilling music throughout and a series of scripted movie style action set pieces spread throughout that runs incredibly smooth on the current gen consoles. But the lack of true innovation and underwhelming story is really starting to hurt this franchise in a big way for me. When you compare the style of Call of Duty games that ran from 2003 to 2006 and compared to the current style that was started all the way back in 2007's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare to the present, you'll be amazed with just how little the franchise has actually changed outside of its visuals. And if this lack of improvement continues to go on, then soon this will quickly turn into another franchise that even for its campaign, I will find myself avoiding for the future. Now, here's what I have to say. Despite everything that I have said up to this point, I do not think that Call of Duty Vanguard is a bad game. I don't think it's a bad game in the franchise in general. However, I have to say, despite this game being very, very polished, very visually impressive game with a lot of very solid, smooth-running game mechanics, this is the first Call of Duty game set in World War II that has made me experience what some would consider to be Call of Duty fatigue. The fact that this was announced to be a World War II game was more than enough for me to want to play this game. But after its very lackluster campaign and its lack of innovation, especially with the zombies and multiplayer, I can say that I openly had more fun with the multiplayer and zombie than the campaign. This is without question the worst World War II campaign that I have played to date. And I have played all the World War II Call of Duty games going all the way back to the first Call of Duty game that came out in 2003. And because of that, that is more than enough for me to not ever want to play this game again. I can openly say that games like World at War and Black Ops, which also had World War II missions, is far superior than Vanguard in every way. Now, this is a major problem moving forward. They need to do something. The style that they've been running for all these years needs to change. There needs to be some real improvement, or at least take a break, like take a year or two off in order for the developers to step back and say, what do we need to do to inject some new life into this franchise? Because it is clearly not here anymore, and they just cannot keep cranking these games out year after year after year. It is going to hurt this franchise in the long run. And trust me, I don't want this franchise to fail. There is a lot of massive amount of potential for the Call of Duty franchise, and for it being the most popular first-person shooter franchise to date, I think that means that it's it needs to do something quickly before things are too late. So if I had to give Call of Duty Vanguard a rating, for the longest time, the Call of Duty franchise has always kind of had like a standard bar, and most games are either slightly above that bar or below that bar. But unfortunately for Vanguard, this definitely falls a bit more below the bar than I expected. And for that reason, I have to give Call of Duty Vanguard a 6.5 out of 10. Do not pay full price for this. I would even say wait for this to even go lower than typical sales price if you're planning on getting this on the current gen consoles. So that is my review of Call of Duty Vanguard. Now, if you happen to play this game, what are your thoughts on it? Share your thoughts with me and everyone else in the comments down below. And if you like this review, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep track of me on my future videos. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll see you all next time.